Hello YouTube, Glitchman here. Before I start off this video, I want to explain why there haven't been any videos for the past month, despite me claiming I was going to make my uploads more consistent. So the reason was school and stuff got a bit hectic, so I needed to stop and keep up with that. So I couldn't really get around to YouTube and stuff. And also Shadowkeep came out, and I wanted to grind for that a bit. And it went from a bit to a lot. Also, something I thought of with the upcoming release of Grendel, well, upcoming relative to me recording this, is sometimes I will upload videos that do not coincide with what I say I was going to upload. So keep that in mind if you see something pop up on my channel and it's not what I said it was going to be. Anyway, on to the video. This video will be on the Warframe Chroma, or in this case Chroma Prime, because that's the one I have. I will still be going over the build requirements for both Warframes though. And one quick heads up, this video is going to be a bit lengthy or wordy because of how Chroma is with his second ability. So grab your beverage choice, find a comfy chair, get comfortable. Okay, first up, the requirements for Chroma Prime. Chroma Prime requires you to be Mastery Rank 6, and you can get his parts from these relics that are currently up on the screen. To build Chroma Prime's systems, you will need 15,000 credits, 2 Argon crystals, 5 neural sensors, 1,775 polymer bundles, and 4,000 ferrite. To build his neuroptics, you will need 4 neurodes, 750 circuits, 450 plastids, and 4,750 nanospores. And to build his chassis, you will need 2 Netane extract. You can get that from the Cred shop for Nightwave, 10 control modules, 1,600 rubido, and 7,800 salvage. Now, the requirements for regular Chroma are a bit different. First off, you don't need to be a specific master rank to use or get him. You just need to complete the quest The New Strange to get his main blueprint. Uranus Junction gives the blueprint for the neuroptics, Neptune Junction gives the chassis, and Pluto Junction for the systems. Now, the build requirements is where it gets a bit weird. The neuroptics require 200 plastids, 2 neural sensors, 350 polymer bundles, and 1 Ember neuroptics. You can get the blueprint for that from defeating Sargus Rook on Jupiter. Next, the chassis requires 2 neurodes, 900 salvage, 50 plastids, and 1 frost chassis, the blueprint for which can be acquired from Lieutenant Lek Krill and Captain Vor on Ceres. The systems require 400 oxium, 2 argon crystals, 1 neurode, and 1 sarin systems, the blueprint for which can be acquired from Keela Dethame on Sedna. And finally, to put everything together and make the frame, you will need 1 volt neuroptics, the blueprint for which can be acquired from the Tenno Lab in your clan's dojo. Okay. Now for his abilities. First up, his passive, Elemental Alignment. The color of your emissives affects what your abilities do and the damage they deal. Red, magenta, brown, orange, and bright yellow hues being heat. Blue and purple hues being electric. Green, lime, teal, and dark yellow hues being toxic. And finally, white, gray, black, and some faded colors being cold. Now, Chroma's first ability is Spectral Scream, which goes in a cone 10 meters long, dealing 200 of whatever type of damage his passive is causing with 60% status chance. Ability strength affects the amount of damage done but does not affect the status chance. Range affects the length of the cone, and efficiency affects the drain of Spectral Scream because it is an ability where you tap the key once and it will keep going until you tap it again. His next ability, the extremely long one, is Elemental Ward, which applies an effect which is determined by Chroma's damage type to allies within 12 meters and lasts for 25 seconds. The stats of it are affected by what you would expect, effectiveness by strength, range by range, and time by duration. If your Chroma is dealing with heat, it will emit a flame aura that increases base health by 200%, inflicts 100 heat damage on an enemy within 5 meters with 10% status chance, but the range of the damage is not affected by ability range. If your Chroma deals with electric damage, it will increase shields by 100% and convert incoming damage into arc discharges that deal 1000% of incoming damage as electric damage to enemies within 10 meters with 25% status chance, and have a minimum damage cap of 200. And the distance of the discharges is affected by ability range. If your Chroma deals with toxin damage, it will increase base reload speed and holster rate by 35% within 5 meters. It also has a 50% chance per second to deal up to 5% of an enemy's health as toxin, and has a guaranteed status proc. And the damage per second is affected by ability strength. The damage does go through obstacles in the environment and does not have damage fall off for distance. And finally, if you have Chroma set to cold, this ability will increase base armor by up to 150%, any damage received is reflected back to the source and increased by up to 300%, and it has a status chance of 25%. All those stats for cold are affected by ability strength. Alright, Vex Armor. What this does is increase certain stats when you receive damage depending on the damage received. Taking damage to your shields will grant the Scorn buff, which increases armor, and taking damage to your health will grant the Fury buff, which increases weapon damage. It takes 400 damage to shields to max out Scorn and grants 350% armor buff, and 100 health damage to maximize Fury, which grants a 275% weapon bonus. Both these buffs are affected by ability strength. And finally, Effigy. What this does is Chroma sheds his armor and imbues it with elemental energy, turning it into a floating sentry with 8,000 health, which deals 400 damage. 400 of whatever damage you have set per tick at a rate of 5 ticks per second, so 2,000 damage per second. This sentry has an attack range of 20 meters, stun radius of 30 meters, and knockback of 5 meters. This also increases the chance of credits being dropped by 60% and the amount of credits dropped by 100%. This ability also grants 20% speed buff, but reduces armor by 50%. Now, this is the only build I really use on Chroma because it works for pretty much everything for me. Alright, so for this build, you can see we went for as much armor as possible, as well as much duration and strength as possible. And for this build, I just used Shotgun Amp as the aura because that's the only one I had that matched the polarity. Otherwise, probably would have gone with this if it had a different polarity. Anyway, so first up, we've got Constitution for plus 40% faster knockdown recovery, as well as plus 28% duration. Duration is why I put that on there. And we got Transient Fortitude, which is plus 35% ability strength, but minus 17.5% ability duration. Got Narrow-Minded for plus 72% ability duration, but minus 48% ability range. We've got Flow for plus 150% energy. We've got Power Drift for plus 15% ability strength. That's like the only reason we put it on there. We're just ignoring the resist. I don't know why I'm saying we. Ignore that. And then I put on just the entire Umbral set purely for Umbral Intensify because I only have the basic Intensify, so Umbral Intensify is already better. And here's some footage of that build in action.
Watch for security systems.
Life support has backed off. They're trying to choke you out. Hold on. I'm auxiliary life support. I've delivered a life support capsule to the area. Activating it will buy you more time. Fallen enemies will drop crucial life support. Be on the lookout. Prepare for life support. I've delivered another life capsule. Life support incoming. Another life support capsule is now available. That should keep you going for a while.
That's all for this video. I will see you in the next one.